Congratulations and best wishes to Brandeis seniors. A four-year member of the program, our first Emory has played in 41 games during her career and ranks 15th on Emory's all-time list in block shots average. She established career highs of 22 points and 7 rebounds in a 2016 win over Trinity of Maryland and finished that year fourth with a squad with 11 blocks. Away from the court, she has been on the Barclay Forum Center of the Peyton Dialogue for 4 years. She has volunteered with the Ronald House and the Railroad Community Kitchen. They have a youth health program. Every graduation should be working in hospital outpatient care as a full complex for a year before continuing her education as a master's degree candidate in physician-assisted studies. Accompanying her today are her parents Daniel and Susan from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Number 33, Benna Ames. Our second senior is a four-year veteran who has taken the court in 51 contests with her aggressive play and down, often disrupting the opposition. During the 2017-2018 campaign, she appeared in 24 contests, scoring 9 games and grabbing rebounds in 12 outings. In May, she'll be receiving her Bachelor of Business Administration and Master of Professional Accounting. She'll be obtaining her CPA license along with working in federal audit at KPMG in Washington, D.C. She has a membership with Data Alpha Psi. She is a member of the UAA All-Academic Team. With us activating for her parents, Louis and C. Hello, and brother Elsa. From Rockville, Maryland, number 20, Hazel Toronto. A starter in 54 of the 98 games she has seen action in over the past 4 campaigns. Our next senior figures prominently in a number of family career categories. The owner of 41 double-figure scoring performances, she is tied for the number 6 spot on the Eagles' all-time chart with 120 three-point field goals. Among the school's all-time top 20 scorers, she is tied for 6th in assists and stands second in free throw percentage. As a junior, she made second team All-UAA honors after placing 8th in the league in scoring average and 7th in assists. She was selected as a USBWA Division III National Women's Player of the Week, averaging 32 points at the Transylvania Classic, highlighted by her 39 points, the program's second highest individual and total, and school record tying 9 three-point field goals against the host Pioneers. A media studies major, she has been a member of the UAA All-Academic Team during her career. She plans on pursuing coaching opportunities following her graduation and was recently selected to the WBCA's So You Want to Be a Coach program. With her today are her parents, Paris and Amy, sister Paris, Our fine senior has established herself as one of the program's top point guards in school history. She has played in 97 games, and her 91 starts are fifth most in Emory history. Her 466 assists rank second all-time at the school and fifth highest mark among active players in Division III. As a junior, she rolled out the conference best 5.5 assists per game, good for 21st in Division III, and topped the UAA while ranking fifth nationally in assist to turnover ratio. During the 2018, she set the program high for most assists and assist average in a season. She has been a member of the Emory Student Program Council and was recently recognized as an Emory Honorary Senior Honor. The business administration major she'll move to San Francisco following graduation to do consulting work for Alpha Sites. Accompanying her today are her mom, Teresa Lam, and father, Joy. From Calabasas, California,
Now the 6 seniors being recognized here this afternoon, and we hope you heard that okay, as we did our best to try to get the PA, not the greatest reverberation we could get, but the 6 seniors for Misha Jackson's squad. They will start today, at least the bulk of them. We'll get you that starting lineup momentarily after the national anthem. Well, to set the stage for you here once more, Emory 15-6 overall, but they had a heartbreaking loss on Friday. That knocked them out of a tie for first place. They currently sit in second, trailing both NYU, who they lost to on Friday, and the University of Chicago. Emory right now is 6-4 in the UAA. They're 9-2 here at home. However, they've lost 4 of their last 5. Things not going in the direction they want. Same can be said for Brandeis, as they have, since the last meeting between these two, back on January 19th, lost 5 of their last 7. They sit at 3-7 in UAA play, 13-8 overall, and just 6-4 on the road. So there is a lot for both of these teams right now to take care of today. And we are going to pause for our national anthem, and then we'll come back with the starting lineups and get you set for basketball in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. All right, national anthem in the books. William Schindler with you. Let's get you introduced to the starting lineups. First for the Brandeis judges out of Massachusetts. It is Camila Casanueva, number 13, their leading scorer, junior from Santa Barbara, California. Casanueva, Newhouse in Spanish. 14 points a game, 6.2 rebounds. Also, it will be Lauren Rubinstein, number 15, a guard from Southbury, Connecticut. 30 is Emma Ravis, a freshman from Miami. No, not that Miami. Miami, Oklahoma. By the way, I did not know there was a Miami, Oklahoma. Well, you learn something new each day. 34 is Hannah Nicholson, 11.6 points for the senior per game, and she's got just under a double-double with 9.1 rebounds from Sunderland, Vermont. And number 43, Julianne Petrie, a forward junior from Marlborough, Massachusetts. On the other side of things for Misha Jackson, it is senior day, and of course the seniors At least 5 of the 6 getting a start. Lindsay Say, the senior from Calabasas, wears number 3. Erin Lindahl, the senior from Yardley, Pennsylvania, wears number 10. And, of course, hey, they are usual suspects in there. The other 3 that are not usual suspects, Hazel Carmona, number 20, the senior from Rockville, Maryland, in the starting lineup. So is Sophia Jochi, number 32, senior from Sylvania, Sylvania, Ohio, pardon me. The senior is 5'7", and Benna Ames, the senior from Grosse Pointe, Michigan, at 6'2", wears number 33, and so she's in the starting lineup. Allison Chernow is dressed and available. She's the senior that is not getting the start, but we expect to see her. She sat out on Friday with some injuries. And so Emory will have a little bit of a wrinkle with the starting lineup just because it's senior day. And as we get set to go here again, it is Casanueva, Rubinstein, Ravis, Nicholson, and Petrie. And on the other side of things, Say, Lindahl, Carmona, Jochi, and Ames. And we were just told that we expected that, but Chernow is available and will come off the bench. Well, as we get our throat cleared. Perfect. There we go. Off to a great start. It's time to get this started. Between the judges and the Eagles, as jumping and getting it is Carmona off the tip from Ames. And we're underway, right to left across your screen. Home white for the Eagles and the road navy blues for the judges. Jochi to Lindahl. Lindahl, who went over those 1,000 points 2 games ago. Carmona goes off. Ames a 3, and that will be offline, but gathered by Lindahl off the miss. Can't put it back in, though. The rebound will go to Nicholson and the judges. First offensive possession for Brandeis, and they will draw first blood with Emma Ravis. 6.7 points a game. She's the young lady, as we said, from Miami, Oklahoma. A little bit of difference between Oklahoma and Miami, Florida, or Miami, Ohio, for that matter. Lindahl now in the paint, kicks it back outside to Ames. Carmona coming around the high screen from Ames. Now in the paint, Carmona drives. The young lady from outside Washington can't finish. Ames puts it back up and in, and the Michigan native from Grosse Pointe, Michigan, ties this game at 2 apiece. Into the interior, nice entry pass, knocked away there by Ames. Jochi comes up with it. They were looking inside for Nicholson, and that was good defense by the Eagles, getting that turnover. Lindahl drives to the hoop, left-handed, goes around the world before sinking, and Emory up by a pair for 2. 8:35 and ticking here, and the first charge of the afternoon is called on Brandeis. Emma Ravis will get the charge, and Emory benefiting on back-to-back turnovers for Brandeis, who got up to that 2-0 lead and then has seen Emory score 4 unopposed. Ames at the top, Carmona here on the near side. Nice screen and separation, a double screen as Lindahl sets 1-2. Jochi now. Jochi, as you might have heard, came back from that big injury last year. She's really rehabbed to be part of this squad this year. Lindahl down low, 4 on the shot clock. Outside, Lindsay Say with it, 2 on the shot clock. Jochi has to force a shot, goes in and out and into the hands off the carom of Brandeis. Another rebound for Nicholson. Down low, wasting no time. They'll claw 2 back with Ravis down to tie it at 4. As Emory will have the substitutions, it looks like we'll have both of the 5s coming in with Ripley and Huggins. We'll see that momentarily. Carmona in the paint. Nice behind the back. Looks like it might have been deflected. It was off the hands of Rubinstein, and it will remain Emory ball with 13 on the shot clock. In for Emory, Molly Weiss, and then the 2 aforementioned with Ripley and Huggins. We will see Carmona, Jochi, as well as Ames return to the bench. Senior day at least done for them for the moment. Here's Ripley with the shot, the junior from just outside of Chicago off a miss, and the Southern Californian, and Lindsay Say gathers it. Huggins now on the dribble, comes over to the near side. Weiss, always a 3-point threat, takes a 2. She was fouled, and that will be on, it looks to be Lauren Rubinstein first on the senior from Southbury, Connecticut. Weiss, a very good three-point shooter. She's even a better free throw shooter and keeps that going. Not that she shot a lot, but so far she's not missed this year. You didn't want to say that before the first one, and hopefully this doesn't jinx the second, and it didn't. Perfect 2 for 2. Keeps the 1,000 on the statistic line when you look at free throws for Molly Weiss. 6-4, Emory up by now a pair once more. And we'll have travel. Too many steps there for Brandeis and Emma Ravis. Huggins works to the near side. Lindahl thought about the screen now, uses it. Foot in the paint before now looking to pass. Ripley can shoot threes occasionally. Bounce pass to a better three-point shooter in Molly Weiss. As Blair, thought about it. Now trying to drive inside. Gets it out to Weiss. Still a little space. Huggins with it. 7 on the shot clock. Lindahl cuts down low. Can't complete the shot. She thought maybe she was fouled on the layup. Instead, off the miss. Emory still up by 2. Now on the other side of things, Brandeis a little bit on the doorstep there as Petrie on the miss. And Say now will travel the length up top. Huggins to Lindahl. Coming around now on a twist and off of the foot of the sophomore. Tori Huggins thought maybe got deflected. It got her shoe on top. And Aaron Lindahl will check out, and we'll see Allison Chernow into the game for the first time this weekend. Chernow led all scorers the last time these two teams played in January 19th. It was an Emory win up near Boston, 75-67, with Chernow with those 20. Underneath, and a foul. No, they'll say a travel violation on Camila Casanueva. So that turns it over. Into the game for the first time will be Francesca McCasey, freshman year student from Staten Island, New York. Just one of the major boroughs of New York City. If you've ever taken the ferry over there, fun little ride every now and then. 5:50 left to play. Huggins thought about passing, then takes the shot, draws back iron, and another rebound gathered there by the judges. So far, Emory up 6-4. They've shot just 2 of 10. 2 of 2 for the judges is what we're showing on our statistics. That doesn't sound right, but it'll go in and out and gathered by Huggins. Maybe that is right. No, maybe that's their first miss. I guess so. As we'll get an update on those statistics. Chernow's miss goes into the hands of Ripley, and she'll put it back up and in. And Blair Ripley, another outstanding year, cobbling it together. She's just outside of Chicago in Oak Park, Illinois. 10.3 points a game and 6.4 rebounds. And stolen away into the hands now of Chernow on a bounce pass. Say will complete it, senior to senior, and Emory is up by 6. Under 5 minutes left to play. Timeout on the floor as Carol Simon, in her 33rd year at Brandeis, calls the timeout. She has become quite a legend in those parts. Of course, Brandeis just outside of the greater Boston, Massachusetts area. A little bit of a travel difference and a little bit of a temperature difference. Although it's cold today in Atlanta. Cold and rainy, but if we were in Boston, it'd probably be snowing. This is a really interesting league when you look at D3 and the UAA. I mean, they've talked at times with D3 about making this kind of a different D3, if you will, because these schools in the UAA a lot of times are different than most D3 programs, and the amount of travel and flying. When you think about it, Emory is a travel partner with Rochester, so everybody plays Rochester on a Friday and then comes down here on a Sunday to Atlanta. It's quite a distance, and of course when you've got schools in Cleveland and all over the place, Boston, Chicago. There's Chernow with the steal and gets the left-handed roll. Emory up by 10, 14-4. So this has really opened up something here, and as that'll be pushed away. Right now we don't have the statistics for you. We're still at 6-4 on our statistics. So right now we can't tell you exactly where the shot percentage is. It will be Kennedy Cater in for the first time, and Cater takes too many steps. Also, we'll see now checking in Anna Arado, usual starter. She'll replace Blair Ripley. Catherine Puda is in for the first time for the judges. A whistle on the floor. And the lead official will need to talk over with the scores table. So something, maybe a miss on the timing area, but Brandeis will now inbound after that reset. 12-4. Maybe they had the score wrong because it was 14-4. I was going to say, all of a sudden, seemed like it got to 10 really quickly. And off the miss, gathered there by Cater. So it's 12-4, so we just subtract that. It was 10, now it's 8. It happens. Here's Chernow in the paint, draws it back outside. Yeah, I was going to say, I know my math skills are not great. All of a sudden, it seemed like they got to 10 really quickly. Ball fake there from Arado. Chernow. Nice crossover move, and she's tripped up trying to go inside. Looks like maybe the shoe got in the way of Puda. See who they assess it to. It will be Puda. Well, Weiss to the bench. Lindahl returns. Also to the bench will be for Brandeis. It'll be Thurin. She checks out. In is Carrie Tenke for the first time. Chernow misses. Boy, that's rare. She was fourth in the country at one time, was Allison Chernow in free throws. She's still at 87% for the year and misses both, which is about the biggest quirk in this game to this point. See, Allison Chernow missed both. We all can buy scratch-offs after this broadcast. Does not happen much. 12-4 your score. Emory with the lead. 3:15 and ticking. First quarter of play. It'll be a foul inside on the Eagles. And it will be Brandeis ball as the first personal foul is on Kennedy Cater. First team foul as well. Mariani Alza comes in and Chernow to the bench. The freshman from outside of Washington gets a hand on it, gets it outside though. There's Brandeis trapped at the moment. Rubinstein tries to flip it back out to Tenke. 3 on its way. Gotcha. Knocked down by Petrie. So the 3 is hit. On the other side of things, that's partially blocked as the Kennedy Cater shot missed, but she got it right back. And Huggins, a little bit too strong into the waiting hands of the judges. And on the run now after the rebound, Rubinstein. Rubinstein now at the top, guarded by Huggins. Drives in the paint, floats it up, and Torrey draws the foul as going to the line will be the judges trailing 12-7. Ripley will replace Huggins, who'd picked up that foul. Hannah Nicholson back in. Looks like McKaysey is out there as well. First free throw by Rubinstein knocked down. Right now, 3 of 7 are the judges. 5 of 16 for Emory. 6 turnovers, though, at this point for Brandeis. That has been a big difference in this game already. Alza comes around that screen from Arado outside. Ripley's 3, and that will come back outside and be gathered by Brandeis. Rebound to Petrie. 2:05 and ticking here in quarter number 1. Tough shot, left it short, did Brandeis. Nice gather of the rebound again by Ripley. Oh, Cater can't complete the shot. Still 12-9. Emory with the lead. They've been stuck on 12 for a little bit here. They got up to 14 for a second, but that was a little too high as Blair Ripley has another block. She had 5 the last time out. There's a travel as Brandeis, another turnover, 7th of the afternoon. Molly Weiss will come back in, so will Lindsay Say. Also see for the judges, Emma Ravis returning. Arado with the ball fake. Nobody down on the low block yet. Instead, they'll kick out to Arado. Alza, 12 on the shot clock. Crossover. Ripley on the outside. Weiss comes around that screen, gets space for the three. A little bit too strong, and another rebound collected by Nicholson. Rebound-wise, it is 10-6 at the moment in favor of the Eagles here at the minute mark in the first quarter, and a foul underneath. Going to the line will be Hannah Nicholson, the senior from Vermont. First personal foul on Mariani Alza. Nicholson, a good free throw shooter at 83%. And, well, it works on both sides. We say that. She misses 11.6 points and 9.1 points a game. From Sunderland, Vermont. Beautiful state if you have not been there. Home of Ben & Jerry's ice cream to most. It's a two-point game. Ripley, three, gotcha. So Blair steps up, knocks down the three. She is at 35% from three this year, so she can hit it when she needs to. Emory up by 5. Guarded on the outside. Say doing nice work before they'll go in and flushed down by Nicholson. Came in from Ravis. Back to a 3-point lead for the Eagles, 15-12. Final 20 seconds here. They do have to shoot it. It is about a 1.4 second differential between game and shot clock. Alza on the outside. Rounding Alza. Passes underneath. Ripley in and out. And that will do it for the first quarter of play. Emory outscores the judges 15-12 as we will take a break with the Eagles on top of Brandeis in their final regular season home game of the year. Emory up 15-12 as we get set to start quarter number 2. Right now, Emory not shooting great, but they do have the lead. 6 of 21, 28.6%, 1 of 4 from distance, 2 of 4 at the line. Right now, Brandeis 4 of 10 from the field and 1 of 2 from distance. However, it's been the turnovers really that have set this game apart. 7-2. The judges have turned it over 7 times. It's helped Emory with that 3-point lead underneath. Brandeis and bat in the air. They'll get their own rebound. Ravis underneath. Nice job of doing so. Gets a fresh 20. Rubinstein. 9 on the shot clock. Rubinstein, 3, back iron, and another rebound by the judges. Nicholson grabs it, puts it back up off the glass, and makes it a 1-point contest. 15-14. Chernow near side, drives baseline, underneath, swatted away, and a turnover will give Brandeis an opportunity to get the lead. Rubinstein gives off to her left, now down low. They'll go underneath to Nicholson, and a whistle as Lindahl was matched up against her. And it will be on Erin Lindahl, senior from just outside of Philly from Yardley. She'll check out. Ripley comes back in. Also back in will be Catherine Puda. Nicholson was 1 of 2 on the last trip. It's her first here. Tied at 15 apiece. Emory, of course, had that really slow fourth quarter, as it will be Petrie checking back in. Really killed them the last game, losing to NYU, and it was a really tough contest to swallow, 54-50, and they only scored 2 points really for a bulk of that second half, or fourth quarter. Stolen away. Judges now with it, up by 1 point. I believe that is their first lead since they led 2-0 early on. And a foot on the line, got trapped underneath. And as Petrie tried to pass it, she already placed her foot on the baseline. So another turnover for the Judges. That's really helped Emory out, as we said. It's the 9th turnover now for Brandeis. 8:25 and ticking here in quarter number 2. Emory trailing 16-15. Ripley with the bounce pass to Cheernow. Left-handed drive, gives it right back to Blair. She wasn't ready for it. Goes back, saves it by a step from going over half court. 6 on the shot clock for Allison Cheernow. Puts it off of one defender, puts it back up and swishes it down. So Cheernow now with 4 on the afternoon. Ripley's got 5. She leads the team. And it's good to have Cheernow back, though. As we said, she was the leading scorer in Boston. And there's the steal. She had 20 in that effort. And number 22 goes outside to Lindsay Say. Thought about shooting. She's a reluctant shooter, more facilitator. Cheernow back to Say. Swings it around. Huggins straight on 3. That'll draw the back iron. The rebound goes in front of the Brandeis bench. And there's Ripley. She stymied her, and then it will be Emory ball. Nice work by Blair Ripley to get Camila Casanueva over there in an awkward spot. Nobody came to help. She couldn't dribble. She had almost a foot there, and Ripley forces her out of bounds to the chagrin of the longtime head coach and Carol Simon. However, that's probably the correct call, I believe, as she had position. Good work by Ripley. There's a block on the other end of Say. Comes back outside, though, as Say got it back. Huggins off the miss, and the rebound is to the blocker in Camila Casanueva. So she got a block and a rebound. Of course, had that turnover a little bit earlier. Here's Casanueva underneath. Young lady from California, a little too strong on it. Fighting for it, Ripley. Finally, Casanueva will sniff out another rebound. And the miss goes into the hands of Huggins. Emory up by 1, 17-16. The 7-minute mark till the half. Ripley cuts underneath. They'll give it to her off the miss, gets her own rebound, double team, can't get it to go again. Huggins with another try, blocked once, now to the line with a foul. So Emory persistent, and they finally find themselves going to the line, as it looks like that could be on number 45. It is. That is Samira Abdul-Rahim, as a junior out of Burlington, Connecticut. Thrun will return. Courtney Thrun, junior from Regina, Saskatchewan. You want to talk about cold, as Huggins to the line. Regina, Saskatchewan is in the plains of Canada, if you've never heard of it. Saskatchewan is much like North Dakota-ish. And it might be right above North Dakota, as that is a miss on the second one, gathered by the Judges. Emory up by 2, 18-16 here at the 6:43 mark and ticking. Boston looks warm compared to Regina, though, as that will go on the foul. So Rubinstein will go to the line. Senior will have one shot for a three-point play, as we're all tied at 18. Makes it a three-point play. Judges up by 1. Rubinstein now with 5 on the afternoon. They'll get it into Ripley. She's got 5 herself. Young lady from outside of Chicago into the cylinder. Emory back up by a point. 7 for Blair. Baseline knocked away. Lindahl on the harassment. Although Brandeis getting it back. Casanueva had it for a moment. Lindahl poked it once more. It goes to Puda. Casanueva, now Puda. 7 on the shot clock. Ticking down to the 7-minute mark. That looked like a walk. I don't know how that was called. They'll say it was a mesh point as both players had simultaneous possession, as Abdul Rahim will get the point. Outside to Alza. Alza will be in the paint before kicking back out to Cater. Ripley. Nice drive down that far side of the lane. Knocked out of bounds. Emory ball trailing by 1. Cater will come out. Lindsay Say returns. 11 on the shot clock. They'll inbound under their own baseline. Lindahl trying to come around there, and it'll be a foul hook on Erin Lindahl. Yeah, she got her arm extended there, and second personal on the senior from Pennsylvania. Chernow back in. So one Pennsylvanian for another. 5.5 minutes until the half. Emory trailing by just a lone digit, 21-20. Brandeis looking to open up more. The 3 won't go. Ripley with the rebound. Lindsay Say to Chernow. Catch and shoot 3. Drained it. Gotcha. So that's got to feel good for Allison Chernow after missing the last game. Now 7 points for her, and we'll have a foul on the freshman underneath, moving her still and knocking the offensive attacker to the floor. Ariane Alza will pick up her second personal. Ripley checks out. Arado back in. It looks like Weiss joins her. That's a 2, foot on the line. It wouldn't matter anyway off the miss, but Brandeis does get the rebound. Fighting for it, Brandeis, another rebound, finally put back up and in. Good effort there by Thrun. And lady we talked about being from the plains of Canada. We're tied at 23 apiece. Chernow in the paint. Swings it out to Weiss. Corner 3, in and out and into the hands of Ravis. Moving it ahead. Casey. Touch for the moment before going back to Ravis. Rubinstein. Reset. Attacking the basket. Rubinstein. Left-handed miss into the hands of Huggins. Still at 23 all. Emory 27% shooting for the game. And that won't help as Huggins off the miss. 38%, 8 of 21 for the judges. Emory's just 9 of 33 from the field, although 10 turnovers to 4. It's really the difference is the judges another miss there. And they have had too many turnovers that have kept Emory tight in this game despite the poor shooting percentage right now for the Eagles. Wide open 3, Arado. Gotcha. Anna Arado. The Floridian makes it a 3-point advantage. Under 3.5 left to play, first half. Nice drive, stripped there by Arado. It will be Emory ball. Fighting back for it was Thurin. Couldn't hang on to it. Ripley returns. She'll replace Huggins. On the other side of things, it looks like Casanueva returns. Emory up by 3. There's a big 3 from Anna Arado. Nice screen. Here's Say. Arado with the ball fake after hitting that earlier 3. Weiss goes to Arado. 10 on the shot clock. Under 3 minutes. Arado, left-handed floater. And that will be soft enough to drop. 28-23. Your score. Emory with the lead. Arado now second on the team with 5 points. The two leaders at the moment, Chernow and Ripley with 7. Chernow with the rebound after the miss for the judges. Chernow, the hesitation goes to Ripley now underneath, and that will be blocked out of bounds. So Ripley, who usually does the blocking, gets a taster of her own medicine. It'll still be Emory basketball, 19 on the shot clock. They'll inbound on the baseline of their own basket, up 28-23. Say gets it right back after inbounding to Ripley. Weiss now with it at the top. Chernow, both outside, 3 threats. Chernow drives to the basket, and the floater won't go into the hands there of Brandeis. Rebound for Nicholson. She's done a nice job of that this afternoon. She gets it on the low block, and Nicholson will finish. As Nicholson's had a good afternoon, she now has 9 points. And we'll check out her stat line. She's got to be getting up there as well with rebounds. At least by my count, she has a minimum of 7 rebounds. It might be 8. I don't know if that's updated yet. It could be 9 points and 8 rebounds underneath. Ripley was fouled. So Blair will go to the line. Hannah Nicholson picks up the first personal foul. Back in is Jillian Petrie, junior from Marlborough, Massachusetts. Ripley at the line. There you go. Blair, a good free throw shooter, but like we said, kind of an interesting few games. She's dropped a bit, still 78% for the year. That's a very good percentage. Was in the 80s. There you go, knocks down both. Emory up by 5 with just a minute 40 remaining here till we hit the half. Ripley leading the way now on the Eagles side of things with 9. Chernow has 7. And the 3 connected on. Gotcha by Ravis. 7 for her. It's now a 2-point advantage for the Eagles. Arado on the drive, flips it up with the right hand. Beautiful move down the near side of the lane. She has 7 herself. Emory up 32-28, a minute 5 remaining. And that's on the baseline off of Ripley's noggin. Well, that was going to be out of bounds, I think, on Brandeis, and it came up and hit Blair Ripley, who was on the floor in the back of the head. A little insult to injury. So Casanueva will inbound. Gets it right back. Casanueva hits the backboard. That'll be Emory ball. So Emory looks like they will go to the half, possibly with the lead here. 32-28. Still some time to salt away. There's a 2-foot on the line. Boy, it looked like maybe she stepped back, but the official said no. Arado gets a long, that's about as long of a 2 as you can get. She was taking her foot back when she took the shot, but it just did not cross back enough. 34-28, long 2 puts Emory in the lead a little bit further. Final 22 seconds, 12 on the shot clock. And that will spin out, gathered by Brandeis. Shot clock goes off. Casanueva will set things up. Junior from Santa Barbara, California, averaging 14 points a game. Camila Casanueva with Weiss on her, and a fall away jumper won't go. Rebound, and that's put up. The buzzer was good if it went, but it won't go. So at the half, Emory fighting to get a win here today, as they have lost 4 of their last 5 games and want to get back in the win column before the final 3 on the road. 34-28, your halftime score. The Eagles on top of the judges. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes to get you set with statistics and the second half of play. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the half, everyone. William Schindler with you as Emory up 34-28 over the Brandeis Judges. And we looked the statistics here throughout the half. Let's go over them with you. It's been kind of an interesting game. Both teams not shooting well. However, Emory actually with the lower shooting percentage, but with the lead primarily because of turnovers. That has been the story. 11 turnovers for Brandeis compared to 4 for Emory. And you look at points off of turnovers, that's the difference. 10-0 in favor of Emory. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at the statistics, that is the difference. 10-0 on the points off of turnovers in favor of the Eagles. In the paint, Emory leads by 2, 18-16 points in the paint. Second chance points, Emory the advantage as well, 7-4. And fast break points, Emory 4-0. 28 points for Emory off the bench. 4 for Brandeis. That's a little bit misleading because remember it's senior day, so they started a different lineup. 31.7% shooting for the Eagles, just 34.5% for Brandeis. Emory 13 of 41 from the field. Brandeis 10 of 29. 3 of 9 from distance are the Eagles, and 2 of 8 are the Judges for 3. 5 of 8 for free throws for Emory, and 6 of 7 for Brandeis. Brandeis is paced by Hannah Nicholson, who's 1 point away from a double-double. She's got 9 points and 10 rebounds already here at the half. 7 points for Ravis. And then you have to go down to 5 for Rubinstein, 3 for Petrie, and 2 for Thrun and Abdul Rahim. On the other side of things, the Eagles paced by 2 players, Ripley and Arado, both at 9 apiece. 9 points, 4 rebounds for Ripley. They're actually led rebound-wise by Tori Huggins. She only has 1 point, but she's got 7 rebounds, so keep an eye on that. And then you look down from the 9, it goes 7 for Chernow, and as we mentioned, the 1 for Huggins, but 2 apiece for both Say, Lindahl, Ames, and Weiss. Those are your scoring numbers. Emory also rebound-wise right now is just being out-rebounded, 26-22. So those are your halftime numbers. We're set as Emory left to right across your screen. Here in half number 2, stolen away there from Blair Ripley. And so the first offensive possession yields a turnover for the Eagles and no points. 3 on its way. Gotcha. Drilled on the near side by Lauren Rubinstein. So the senior puts it within 3. She's got 8 on the afternoon, 34-31. You never know coming out of the half if a team is going to keep that momentum going, or a lot of times you'll see a team go in on a hot streak, come out cold. This is how it happens at times. Here's Say, 7 on the shot clock. Arado trying to look for some space, and a travel. Too many steps for Anna Arado. So Emory 2 possessions so far out of the half and no points. Still up 34-31. Third's really been their problem quarter. Fourth, they've usually finished strong. That was not the case on Friday, and a miss there. It'll go out of bounds. Emory ball off the Ravis miss. But that's one thing I think Misha Jackson would like to see is the finishing strength of her squad. They've had a good year, but as we said, they've run into a little bit of trouble here as of late, losing 4 of their last 5. Of course, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, since these two teams met back in Boston, outside of Boston on January 19th, Brandeis has lost 5 of their last 7. 3 from Ripley, left on the doorstep, collected by the Judges and Ravis. Across the timeline, Ravis left hand, pulls up, kicks it back out. Thought about the 3 for a moment in Nicholson. Now Brandeis into the paint, knocked away by the Eagles. Still Judges basketball with 17 on the shot clock. Three-point lead. Eagles with that slim advantage. Petrie casts off a 3, tries to tie it. Rebound taken there by Lindsay Say. Arado, ball fake, bounce pass to Ripley, near side block. Backing into the paint, left-handed floater, goes. She's fouled as well. So Blair to the line, Give her 11 on the afternoon. We'll look for a dozen here to complete this shot. It is the first personal foul on Julian Petrie. A junior averaging 9 points a game, so Ripley now at the line. A junior herself averages 10.3 points a game. Well over that average now with a dozen. So Blair leading the team off the bench. Double teamed in the interior, forcing him back outside as Petrie swamped, and she has to throw it out of bounds. But first, her 33-year head coach, Carol Simon, took the timeout. It'll be a 30. We'll keep it here. Emory up 37-31. 7:45 left to play in the third quarter. Like we said, this is the final home game of the year. There's still 3 more games to go for Emory on the road. There's discussion that they possibly could host, but it's kind of been dampered with the loss on Friday to NYU. They are 6-4 in the standings. Both NYU and Chicago are at 7-3 in conference play. That was really a heartbreaking loss on Friday. Could have knocked NYU down to the second spot, and Emory could have been in a tie with Chicago. And had Chicago lost as well, they could have been sole possession of first place. But unfortunately for the Eagles, the fourth quarter failed them on Friday, and so here today falls into kind of the must-win column. They've been really good at home, 9-2, but those 2 losses coming recently here at home. And the inbounds pass whistled dead, and I think that was a warning on Emory. Either way, I'll get it in. Brandeis with it. And a nice floater in the paint. Emory's lost the last 2 of 3 here at home. So they are looking to correct that. Weiss with a 3, and that's just off the mark. Ravis with the rebound. Three, that was Casanueva on the miss. Lindahl with the board. Ripley at the top. Arado in the paint. Knocked away, comes out to Lindahl. Wide open 3 in front of her own bench. Gotcha, Erin Lindahl. And perhaps her final game here at the Woodruff PE Center, now with 5. Adding to her career totals here at Emory. They will go on the road next weekend, and then one more the following weekend at Rochester are the final 3. Emory up 40-33, and off the miss, Ripley gets another rebound. Say. And here's Lindahl. Looked like she got tripped up. Instead comes outside off the baseline to Ripley, who drives into the interior. Nice weave to the basket. And the layup puts Emory up by 9. And a timeout. Carol Simon and the judges will talk things over. And it's 6:10 left in the third quarter. Emory sitting up 42-33. Full timeout. We'll take a break. Back with more in just a moment. Timeout for Brandeis. They have 2 left. 6:10 left to play in the third quarter. William Schindler with you, 42-33. Emory up by that score over the judges. Like we said, looking ahead for Emory at their schedule, play at Carnegie Mellon and Case Western Reserve, so Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and then they will finish out on the 29th in Rochester, New York. Casanova into the interior, and that's finished by Abdul Rahim. She has 4. Lindahl with 5 points, goes back out to Ripley, who's got 14. Can't slam the door on a long 2, and underneath, maybe it was Lindahl. It was. Trying to get that board, picks up a foul. So for Aaron, I believe that's number 3. It is. The senior will go to the bench. A little bit of foul trouble. Still time, though. 5:39 in the third, so it's not the worst with 3 fouls, but like we said, we got to keep eyes on that. Brandeis, 10 on the shot clock. Casanova, nice high screen. 5 on the shot clock, left it short, and that will be out of bounds. Ooh, off of Alza, who they threw it back on, who almost was out of bounds herself. Tough call. Well, either way, if it did go out on Emory, it's 2 seconds to shoot for Brandeis at 5:11 left to play in the third. So this is a catch-and-shoot situation right away. That's partially blocked and into the hands of Ripley right before it could be a shot clock violation. Good defense for the Eagles. Alza's 3. Gotcha. Mariani Alza. Boy, she's had a good freshman year. Really looking swell out there so far. 2.9 points a game for her. 2.8 rebounds. Had to work a little on the free throw shooting, but other than that, not a bad year for the freshman. As we say that, she picks up her 3rd foul. So, gets the point, and then the foul, although they'll leave her in. Ripley, as well as Weiss, check out. Chernow and Arado, I believe, back in, as well as Cater. Cater fights for it. That'll be knocked away. Still Brandeis ball. Emory up by 10. I believe at this point, this might be the highest score. They'll look back at the half. They had 8 was the high water mark. Knocked away off the hands of Alza. Still Judges basketball with 10 on the shot clock. 4:37 left in the third. Chernow want to come out, was motioning for something, so I don't know. It's almost like it was a contact issue. She's not touching her eye. She's going to go all the way down to the trainer. Lindahl back in, so she sits next to her. And Allison, as we said, had some injuries that she was banged up with last time. 2 on the shot clock. It's going to be off. And no violation as it draws back iron, and the rebound goes to the Judges. The never-ending possession here for Brandeis. 3 on a miss, and finally Emory will grab the board with Alza doing so. Lindahl, baseline, triple teamed, back outside. Arado's 3, no. Huggins put back off the rebound, and Torrey with 3 points now on the afternoon. Had a good day rebounding, as we told you, with 7 rebounds already at the half. Huggins makes it now 47-35. Knocked away by Arado into the hands of Alza. Mariani Alza to the near side, back to the middle. Huggins, a dribble, picks it up, goes to Lindahl, almost threw it out of bounds. Aaron hangs on to it, coming to the middle. Lindahl backing down in the lane, fights for it, physical play, can't get it to fall though. Rebound taken by the Judges and Nicholson. 3 minutes, 20 seconds until we conclude the third quarter. Emory looking for what would be their 16th win of the season. 3:02. 4 on the shot clock. Cast up by Rubinstein, and the prayer answered on the 3 to make it now a 47-38 ball game. Arado got it deflected away from her on the entry pass. Still will be Emory ball. Returning is Weiss and Ripley, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor, and we will take a timeout with them. Back in just 30 seconds. Emory up 47-38. Welcome back. Emory took a timeout. Nisha Jackson wanted to discuss it. Oh, inbound with 25 on the shot clock underneath their own basket. Will the Eagles. Ripley trying to drive, instead on a bounce pass to Weiss. Cross court, nobody home. So Emory will commit the turnover. For the Eagles, they are roughly about 35% shooting, 34% shooting for Brandeis at this point. And another turnover. The Eagles will take advantage with Alza with the steal and the flush on the back end. And now the freshman with 5, Emory up by 11. And it's the 13th turnover this afternoon for Brandeis, and that has really just hammered them in this game. A miss, a putback, and no, not again. Cater with their board. Cater gets the Petrie miss. And now Emory looking to maybe get more of an advantage. It will be Ripley to the line. Foul is the second on Jillian Petrie, junior from Marlborough, Massachusetts. We know that she's from Massachusetts and not Atlanta. She'd be Peachtree down here. It's like 23 variations of peach trees. I live on one of them, and my mail still has not gotten to me from about 5 years ago. Ripley will hit the first. Right now, Ripley with 15. And she'll stay right there as she lipped it out. 9 for Arado, 7 for Chernell, and 5 for Lindahl and Alza. Minute 40 left in the third, and there is a blocking foul. I'll call it on Mariani. 4th on her. So she'll go to the bench, and we'll see one of the starters, senior returning Hazel Carmona. She started here on senior day, but has been on the bench since. Senior from Rockville, Maryland, is going to get some playing time. Underneath, they'll go right at Carmona, and finishing is Ravis. She has 9. Rubinstein leads the way with 11. Nicholson also has 9 points for the judges. And at 20, left to play in the third. Head fake by Arado, doesn't fool anyone. Carmona now trying to drive, cut off there, brings it back around from Arado, gives it off to Ripley. 6 on the shot clock. Weiss, a long 2 off the back iron and fighting for the rebound. Finally, Casanueva comes away with it for the judges. Camila Casanueva, kind of a quiet game for her. Expected more, only 2 points. And in and out, still at that 2. Put back, though, for Brandeis. Won't go again. Ripley with the board, fights everyone off. Emory still up by 10. Ripley, 3 short. Casanueva with the rebound. Emory up 50-40. We said Casanueva, 14 points a game. Only 2 so far this afternoon, as we are almost to the conclusion of the first half an hour of play. Casanueva back outside. 8 on the shot clock. And that's a 3 off the mark. Again, Ripley with another board. Blair has at least 7 rebounds. Final 5 seconds. They'll get it to Carmona. Back outside, Weiss's 3, and just off the front lip. Well, they got it to her, but had to force the shot. And a 40% three-point shooter just lips it out. And we'll go to the fourth with Emory up by 10, 50-40. Back with the start of the fourth in just a moment. Final 10 minutes here on the board. Well, 2 seconds ran off already. Well, they'll put 10 back on. Okay, well, that's the first time we've seen that in a while. 50-40 is your score, Emory, with the lead. It's been a pleasure all season. This could be our final broadcast here of the year at home, and if it is, we've enjoyed it on our end. I hope you have as well out there as a viewer. Right now, Emory trying to get back in the win column after a loss to NYU, a heartbreaker on Friday. And a slow finish to that fourth quarter. Misha Jackson's squad hoping it's not the case is underneath. Rubinstein goes to the line. It'll be on Carmona, her first. So Hazel Carmona, as we said, 5'3", senior from Rockville, Maryland, went to Rockville High School, just outside of the nation's capital. Steen to the line and hits the first. We'll throw in there, as a Maryland native myself, Rockville falls into that weird column of, as the miss and Huggins gets the rebound, it's kind of more DC than Maryland. I know, I'm getting picky. Us Baltimoreans are protective. Outside, 3 from Lindahl. Can't get it off of Ripley's hands. Brandeis with the rebound. After the rebound, a missed shot by Ravis, and fighting for it. And it will be a Brandeis ball as Huggins got it, but landed with her shoulder on the far side sideline. So no rule change of possession. And then out of bounds on the Eagles. McKaysey will inbound for the Judges. Gets it into Rubinstein. Carmona guarding her, and another foul on Hazel. So back-to-back fouls on Carmona. She came in for Mariani Alza, another Washington, D.C. area native who's got 4. So Carmona with 2. Goes back to the bench. Weiss comes back in for the Eagles. Sitting up 50-41. Lindahl with coverage on the outside, trying to work toward the basket is Ravis. Off the glass, beautiful move by her. Back to a 50-43 lead for the Eagles as the Brandeis Judges chipping away here. And it's one of those, if you're an Eagles fan, you saw how it went on Friday in the fourth quarter. I'm sure some Eagles fans a little apprehensive, wanting some shots to fall like that. And there's Blair Ripley. Good game for Blair, now with 17. The junior from just outside of Chicago and one of the greater suburbs. If you're heading out to O'Hare, possibly head that way. That's where Oak Park is. Underneath, left-handed roll won't be completed for Hannah Nicholson and the Judges. Lindahl now on the other end for the Eagles. Comes around the high screen from Huggins. Huggins rolled out. They'll instead go off to Ripley. Back out to Say, and they'll reset here offensively. Looking for motion underneath. They'll have Huggins to the near side, and that was a miscommunication as Ripley thought that Lindahl was going to come back out to the outside. Instead, she cut baseline. The pass went into the bench, and it'll be a turnover to Brandeis. Eight minutes flat left in this ball game. Brandeis to the basket. Ravis in and out. Nice work by Huggins on the board. Torrey has had a very good afternoon rebounding-wise. It's not been there statistically for points. On the other end of things, it's been Blair Ripley, who's got 19 now. And she's had a heck of a game. Just looking, though, with Huggins, she has had one of those games now with at least 10 rebounds. Ripley will grab another board. She has got to be close with at least 9 rebounds with those 19 points. Might be more. Our computer slow to update. And as soon as we get those individual statistics updated for you, we'll know exactly where they sit. But Ripley closing in on a double-double as Say gets the steal underneath the basket of Brandeis. Lindsay comes all the way down. Ripley just a foot outside the free throw line. Now works in after the ball fake. Lindahl in the corner. Ripley sets a nice screen. Aaron comes into the paint, comes off to the near side. Weiss casts off a three from the corner, a little bit too strong, and Rubinstein will grab the rebound. Emory up 54-43, 6:40 and ticking underneath. Can't get it to go. Lindahl with the rebound off the miss there of Brandeis, and it looks like McKaysey. Lindahl right at the free throw line, comes back, goes in on a double team. Blair Ripley bounces outside, trying to get it to Huggins. And so Ripley, 2 errant passes. It's the only thing she's really done wrong this afternoon. Say, Lindahl, and Ripley out. Alza returns with those 4 fouls. Back in also is Kennedy Cater, the young lady from Canton, Georgia. And Anna Arado will return for the Eagles. 3 more remaining in the regular season, and a walk. Oh, no, they'll say it's a foul. I thought maybe Rubinstein walked. It will be on Molly Weiss. First personal on her. Junior from Marlborough, New Jersey. It's spelled different than Marlborough, Massachusetts, by the way, in case you're wondering. Probably weren't, but if you're in a spelling bee and you want to use that in a sentence, ask what state it's in. Jumper, and we'll go. That's Shannon Smalley, sophomore from Foxborough, Massachusetts, to hit that one. First time we've seen her in the game, and first points for her. A lady who is home where the Patriots play. Off the miss there by Arado, a rebound for Brandeis. Foxborough, a greater suburb of Boston. On the way, 3 connected on that outside 3 by Francesca McKaysey, the freshman from Staten Island. Makes it a 54-48 game. And don't look now, but Brandeis is back in this thing. And again, Emory wanting to close out this 4th quarter. Need something here. Here is the freshman in Alza. Underneath, pulls it back. Arado, 8 on the shot clock. Trying to drive herself. Partially blocked into the hands of Brandeis. 4:50 and ticking. Right now, Emory looking to lock it down defensively. Underneath, Brandeis, and a whistle and 3-second violation. I don't see that called much. But it'll be on Julian Petrie. Lindahl and Ripley both return. Huggins and Weiss to the bench for the Eagles. 4:44 left to play in regulation. Emory up 54-48. They're up over 10 points at one point here. Trying to close this down. They don't want it to get away from them like it did against NYU, as it goes to the floor, and it will be a foul, a non-shooting foul against Brandeis. That'll be the 3rd on Jillian Petrie. 4.5 in regulation. Got knocked away for a moment from Arado. Gathered it back, though. Here's Alza looking for Ripley instead. Nobody open there. Ripley will set a screen, trying to get into the paint. Gets Ripley open. Cuts to the basket, off the glass, and that finally will rattle in after it looked like it might flop out. 56-48. Emory back on top by 8, and Ripley with 21 points. Great afternoon for Blair. And the 3 left on the doorstep. Ripley grabs another rebound. I'm going to guess we've got Ripley still stuck at 15 points and 8 rebounds. She's got 21 points. And I've seen 2 rebounds after the 8. So I'm just going to give her a double-double, even though our statistics are a little bit behind at the moment. I'm giving Blair the double-double. I'm not an official scorer, though, but I'm pretty sure. 56-48. Lindahl, bounce pass to Arado. Back to Aaron. Cut off. Lindahl, such a hard-nosed player. Nice move, spin move, can't get it to go. Yeah, that looked pretty, although Thruen had the rebound, and Lindahl did everything but finish on that one. That was really well created underneath. And a foul will go against Arado. To the line will be Courtney Thruen from Regina, Saskatchewan. Say comes back in. So does Molly Weiss. So the young lady from Saskatchewan, Regina, Saskatchewan. My favorite, though, not even Regina in Saskatchewan, my favorite name, but it's the first one hit. Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan is by far my favorite town. You ever want to go up in Canada and find someplace unique, go to Moose Jaw. I don't think they have many of those around the rest of the country. 6-point lead for the Eagles after the 2 free throws hit. Should say in the U.S. Maybe they have one around Canada. I think that might be unique in Canada, though. It's an interesting place up there if you ever get a chance to travel in Canada. Saskatchewan's nice. Go to the other provinces, though. A little bit more pretty. As inside, Say loses it. And here comes Brandeis, down by 6, under 3 minutes. Emory trying to close out for a victory here. They need one. Brandeis. Follow away jumper, and that's good by Thruen. And the young lady from Canada making her presence felt. She's got 8. 56-52. This game's a lot closer than maybe the scores would have indicated earlier. Lindahl back out to Ripley. Say works around that screen. Look back for Blair, trying to cut in. She's caught on the baseline. 2 players in front of her. Left hand. Ripley can't get it to fall. She still sits at 21 points. I know where it's going right now, and it's going to the hot hand of Blair Ripley. Casanueva peels it off to Nicholson. Gets it right back. Casanueva to the far side. Puda. Casanueva again. Lindahl works against her. Top of the elbow. Nicholson into the paint. 9 on the shot clock. Nicholson, right hand. Flicked too firmly. Huggins with the board. 56-52. Emory still with the lead. They would love, with 1 minute and 38 seconds, to get some points on this possession. It would certainly help their effort to victory. Lindahl back down off the glass. Aaron can't find the range. She's frozen at 5 points. Those days for the senior. 3 knocked down on the near side. That was McCasey, and it's a 1-point game. And timeout, Misha Jackson, who has seen another fourth quarter start to fall apart in front of her own eyes. Man, Emory, remember, scored just 2 points for about 9 minutes in the fourth quarter on Friday against NYU, and here again they were up by at least 10 at one point, if not more. And right now it has been a bit of a struggle for the Eagles. You just have to wonder if they can get this controlled and done. We are statistically, unfortunately, unable to bring you current statistics. Right now, we're at 56 to 55 on the scoreboard. I've got 50 to 43 with 8:58 left to play in my score sheet. So that's not going to do anything for you as far as statistics, numbers. We believe Blair Ripley has a double-double. 21 and at least 10 would be what I'd give her. On the other side of things, it has been a double-double for, I believe, for Hannah Nicholson. No, she's still actually 1 point away. We thought, yeah, she was at 9 points and 11 rebounds. She had a double-double at least 1 point away from it at halftime. Still hasn't gotten that point. We're okay with that from an Eagles perspective. Final 60 seconds from now. Ripley underneath. And she'll be fouled and go to the line. Can't get it to fall, but she'll get at least 2 shots. She sits at 21. Emory up by just a point. That's a big one with 56.3 seconds left. Lindahl and Arado come out. Huggins and Alza back in. It is the second personal foul on Hannah Nicholson, who we said is that 1 point away from a double-double. Ripley with her own double-double now has 22 as she hits the first. Big free throw puts Emory back up by 2. Can make it a 3-point game with a second made basket. Does so. 56.3 to play. 3-point lead for the Eagles. Although Brandeis, like we said, has come back here in this fourth quarter. Emory in danger of losing their second straight game by blowing a big lead in the fourth quarter. See if they can close it out. Here's Casanueva, blocked by Alza. So the freshman takes down Casanueva on the block. The junior from Santa Barbara gets stuffed. It will still be Brandeis ball, however, with 12 on the shot clock and 37.9 left to play in regulation. Cutting inside, and the right-handed finish will go for Thrun. 1 point game. Emory up 58-57. Now 10 for Thrun in this game. Alza and a timeout for Misha Jackson and the Eagles. 30-second timeout will keep it here. 26.5 left to play. And man, oh man, Emory, sweaty palms once again, as not sure what's going on with the fourth quarter and the Eagles. You know, he talked to Misha Jackson. She'd always say, well, third quarter coming out of halftime was our issue. But the fourth in the last 2 games against NYU and here, essentially if they lose this game, it could cost them, we talked about maybe costing them hosting in the postseason with the loss to NYU on Friday. It might cost them a ticket to the tournament, possibly, if they lost here today. I mean, right now they are facing Brandeis, who is in a tie for last place at 3-7 in conference play with Carnegie Mellon. Emory sits in second at 6-4 behind 7-3 NYU and Chicago. But, this is a game they beat in a pretty convincing manner, 75-67 in Boston earlier in January. Much lower scoring game here this afternoon, but they need to win against the last place team in the UAA. They have certainly dominated Brandeis throughout the years. They have won 7 of the last 8 against the Judges. And this would be one they don't want to let slip away. Final 9 seconds. They're not fouling, which is interesting. 3 on its way from Arado, an air ball, and it will be an opportunity with 4.6 seconds left for the Judges to try to win this game, trailing by 1. That was interesting. They did not foul at all. I thought maybe they would do so. They let Emory play it out. I guess they figured trailing by 1, if Emory got a 2, it's still a 1-possession game. Now, if Emory had hit a 3, that might have been a good night, because then it would be a 2-possession game. But they rolled the dice to the Judges and Carol Simon, who's only been doing this 33 years. And she knew what she was doing. And that was certainly a gutsy call. And let Emory shoot an air ball three. Down to 4.6 seconds remaining. Emory up by 1, 58-57. In a game that Emory had led by at least 10 at one point. After you look back at the official stats, could have been higher. Right now, Ripley, a double-double for the Eagles with 23 points and 10 rebounds. Count that official. And it is Thrun with 10, 11 for Ravis, 12 for Rubinstein, 9 for Nicholson, although she's got a dozen rebounds now. Rest of the way, Arado's got 9 for the Eagles, 7 for Chernow, 5 for Lindahl, as well as Alza, 3 for Huggins, 2 for Weiss and Say. And it's going to come down to one shot for Brandeis. Essentially, they hit it, they will win. We'll see how much time they take, but with 4.6 seconds, it's not going to be a catch and shoot. They'll shoot, so even if there's time remaining, the clock will stop on a made basket and then start again on inbounds, but it won't leave Emory with much time. The Eagles do have 2 timeouts remaining, so I would assume on a made basket there will be an immediate called timeout. And they will call one actually right now. So Emory and Misha Jackson, they want to talk things over, and they'll call a 30-second timeout. So they do still have 1 remaining. And what this will do, Misha will set up what she wants to run defensively and then probably as an inbound. But like we said, on a made basket, as soon as the ball comes through the cylinder, the clock will stop. And then Emory would get it back with whatever time remains. They would have the timeout. I guess they would advance it to some point here. And then at that point, depending on what time's left, it would almost be a catch and shoot opportunity. The easiest way for Emory is a miss. Good defense and run out the final 4.6 seconds, but only up by 1, 58-57. This is going to come down to a nail biter. They will inbound on their own front court. Here does Brandeis almost in front of their own bench. Doing so is Catherine Puda. Puda will get it in to the corner. Brandeis, the 3 deflected in the air, comes down in Arado's hands, and Marchese with the miss. Emory with the win. A final score of 58-57, but whoa, that one a bit sweaty on the end as Emory was up for a while, but could not close it out in a spectacular fashion. They win, though, by 1 to improve now their record for the year to 16-6 overall, 7-4 in the UAA, and they'll finish the year with a 10-2 record here at the Woodruff PE Center. For the judges, they'll fall to 13-9 on the season and 3-8 in the UAA, 6-5 on the road. It is Blair Ripley, really the player of the game for the Eagles. 23 points and 10 rebounds, 9 for Arado, 7 for Chernow, Lindahl with 5, and Alza as well. And the rest of the way, Huggins, Weiss. Huggins had 3, and Weiss and Say had 2. 12 for Rubinstein. Ravis had 11, 10 for Thrun. Has 12 rebounds and 9 points for Hannah Nicholson. Well, the Eagles will go on the road, as we said. The final 3 on the road, they'll go to Carnegie Mellon on the 21st, Case Western Reserve on the 23rd, Rochester on the 29th. If we don't see you again, it's been a pleasure all year. We hope the Eagles will host, but we'll see where the fates align on that. If this is the last broadcast of the final spring of 2020, it's been a pleasure. We've enjoyed it all season long, and we hope the Eagles have a great run the rest of the way. Well, I'm William Schindler, saying it's been an honor, a pleasure. We'll see you next year if we don't see you sooner in the postseason. Eagles victorious, though, on this Sunday afternoon, 58-57 over Brandeis. So long, everyone.